my scrappy friends. I want to welcome you to the last video or episode, I should say, in the Mojo Busters series that I am working on with Christy and Katty, Megan. And this week we have Victoria joining us. She is going to be giving away, or we're going to be giving away a free class from her, one of her mini classes that she does. And I know that whoever wins it is going to enjoy it because Victoria is amazing and you cannot not take a class from her and learn something. So in this last episode, we are going to be talking about using our favorite products or papers. But real quick, I just want to thank everyone who has been commenting and watching our videos so very much. I love you. Can I do a heart? There we go. I know that when we started talking about coming up with doing a series for Mojo, for our lack of mojo, we were really excited about it, and I am just so very excited that everybody has been enjoying it and been getting stuff out of it, because that is why we do these series. I know many times we have these issues and we just want to help and give a little bit of advice. And I think that just doing this series in general, I have learned that each time my mojo is gone, it is usually a different reason, and I just have to think outside of the box for ways to work it out. And many times it's just thinking about what the problem is and why I can't create, or why I feel like I don't want to create, and just combating each of those issues. And you know what? It's okay to do things different each and every time, and it's okay to not be productive. And I know many of us here, while we are doing the series, we do a lot of YouTube videos, and we do a lot of layouts because we're in a lot of groups or teams and stuff. And so we have kind of gotten into the hang of getting things done even when we're not feeling creative. And I think sometimes that's a little bit different than when you don't have stuff that you have to have done because you're just doing it for fun. And I know this time, while I have not been very productive, or I should say I don't feel very productive because I don't want to be productive in a way. And I think a lot of what I've been trying to do is just get down to my roots and take the camera off. Of course, I should say I should get down with my roots and start scrapbooking with a camera, because I was only scrapbooking for about 6 months when I started to tape my process, and it actually has become a big part of just what I do in general. And I'm using my hands, and I'm sorry if that's distracting. So I know for me, to not tape for a little bit of time while we moved this time was actually really weird, and I was pretty productive. And then when we got to our new house and things started calming down and school started, I just became less and less productive. And I think for me, it's finding a routine that works so that I can create, but then I can also share what I'm creating, because that's part of what I love about this community and what I love about this process. And part of the reason why I share what I share is because I enjoy sharing. Just in general, it's been a big pivotal part of my scrapbooking processes, and just that's how I met a lot of people. I know when I first started scrapbooking, I didn't have a ton of friends in Hawaii that I knew, and it was really hard to get relationships built that weren't around cancer and that weren't around military life. So to do something completely different allowed me to have friends in a different aspect, and I really enjoyed it. And so I think that this move for me has just kind of made me realize in this session, or the season that I'm in, that some of it is just getting down to scrapbooking and finding out a different way to scrapbook. So I hope that I'm giving some advice that's good for you guys, and just know that if I haven't hit your situation, comment. You know, don't feel free to message any of us. I know I don't mind messaging back and forth with people and giving advice and, you know, having friendships and stuff with people. And so, I mean, obviously all of us are busy, so we all have lives, that things that we do throughout our days and stuff. But I know that we put ourselves out here on YouTube so that we can share and people who, and we expect that people are going to want to hear from us. And so I know I don't put stuff on YouTube without thinking that maybe, you know, one day that somebody might want more advice. So anyway, that's my open invitation to leave messages. So I want to get back to talking about favorite stuff. The last few months I bought a whole bunch of stuff for my birthday, and I bought the Gather collection, or some of it, because I really thought it would be something that I would enjoy and I could use it during the fall time. And I actually have not really touched it. It's so pretty, and because I am in a spending freeze right now because of the holidays and getting everything situated after moving and buying a house, we're, you know, you budget different. And so I haven't been buying anything, and so, which is fine. I've been using a ton of stash, but I've realized that the stuff that I did buy, that I'm trying to like hoard it because it's just so pretty. And so when we talked about maybe doing a video in the series where we use the stuff that we absolutely love, I knew right away that I would probably use this because I haven't really used it. And so even more, I've been hoarding it. So I am not just picking just one paper. I have this whole collection, and I have a few of the papers. I have a sticker sheet and a chipboard sheet, which I have used some of the chipboard and some of the die cuts, but I also have that, which, so this piece here, oops, sorry for all the glare here. This is the embellishment pack that is like, they're mostly raised and stuff in the wood buttons. And I absolutely love these packs because, one, I love wood buttons, and I just love the dimensional stuff. And so I have not, as you can see, I think I used one thing from here, and that's it. And so I actually had it in For the Love of Homemade Kits kit, and I haven't really used it in the kit because I kind of put it off to the side, thinking I was going to use it, and then I forgot. So, so I'm going to put this in here because this is part of what I'm doing. So I hope that you guys share with us the layouts that you make and along with this last episode to share something that you've been hoarding, because I know we all do it. We all have a piece of paper that we absolutely loved, or that we loved at some point and we saved it and we haven't used it. So also one thing that I'm not sure if I'll be adding it, because it'll all depend, because once again I am starting my layout without having a picture in mind, which is how I do it. But I still have quite a bit of the Fancy Free collection because I bought the whole thing and then we moved pretty much right after I bought it. And I mean, I used some of it right away, but then there was a few pieces that I kind of been holding on to because I absolutely love them. Like the one inspiration piece that was inspired by Britt Turner, and which I absolutely love that. I could just hang this on the wall. And then the watercolor one, and then there's this one, which I actually had another sheet of it, and then I absolutely love this one. So I don't know if I'll end up, I don't really care for this one, but I do love this one. So I'm not sure if I'll end up using this on my layout, but I'm gonna have it out just in case. with a few more of the stuff. I still have tons of the chipboard, but I'm becoming more and more okay with leaving stuff in my stash longer as far as papers go, because I'm realizing that, well, I absolutely love paper, so I use it like crazy, and then it's gone. So so I'm finding that like stuff I have like really old stuff, and then I have brand new stuff. So I have tons of scrap papers. One thing I want to leave you guys before I start off with my video is, once again, like I said, I have no idea what photo I'm going to use. I'm probably not going to talk through that. I'll probably just look through and pick something. But also I wanted to say that we are not going to be continuing the series. We had only planned on doing 5, and but we are hoping that maybe sometime in the springtime we can do another Mojo Busters series, and do like another 5. So look forward to seeing something like that in the new year. And who knows, I know that I have done a few series on my channel that I will be starting up when the new year starts. I know this past month and going into the holiday season is going to be really busy for me. I have lots of projects for stuff to do, like lots of layouts to do, but I haven't been taping a lot of them just because I've been trying to get them done. It's been kind of crazy. So I've been trying to figure out a way so that I can be productive and be able to share as much as I can. And so just bear with me, guys. I know my channel has been really slow, but it will get better because I'm bound and determined to keep sharing with you guys, because I do love YouTube. I love this platform. I love all of you guys, and I love sharing with you guys, but it's just, you know, I got to make it work with my schedule. I homeschool, and so that has been a big deterrent this year. I have had a lot less time because I've had to spend a lot more time with all of my children during the day. And I used to be able to get some stuff done when they were doing some small stuff, but anyway, on to fun stuff, right? So I am scrapbooking using the Gather collection. I may add something else because I do have the cute girl collection too. But so this is what I have, and I hope you guys are excited to see what I come up with. After I picked my photo, and I decided to go with that photo of those cupcakes there. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably know that I love to bake. It is one of those things that is just fun, and who doesn't like cupcakes, which is actually the title of this layout, but that will come later. But I made these cupcakes for my daughter's birthday when she turned 8 in September at the end. She had wanted me to make her some vanilla cupcakes with chocolate chips and vanilla frosting because she's a vanilla girl. There are just some people who like just plain vanilla. So right now I'm just trying to figure out which way I want my paper to go. I was thinking maybe having like half of that. And part of the reason why I was thinking that is, one, I didn't want to just use that full piece because I wanted to be able to use it more than once. So, but I really like that plaid-y type of design. It's really, really gorgeous. It has a light distressed feel to it, but it's not too bad. This collection, this Gather collection, as many of you probably know because you probably already are using it, because I am very late to the game. Like I said, I hoarded this, so I didn't I haven't used it as much as I probably would have if I wasn't on a spending freeze or wasn't hoarding stuff either. So, but it is, this Maggie Holmes collection definitely is not as vintagey feeling or distressed as some of her other stuff. But right now I'm kind of deciding, okay, let's do some squares, and I'm making them all the same. Well, I'm making two of the patterns bigger squares, so they're like 3.5 by 3.5, and then these other ones are 2.5 by 2.5. And I'm just kind of picking some patterns that I think will go well, and then I'm going to put this on white cardstock because that's what I like right now. Besides that, this really needs something to ground. It's so that the pan is so dark, and it's not like a perfect photo. I just took my camera, phone, and which I take majority of my photos probably on my camera or phone, on my phone camera, because it's just there. I will say I probably don't use my big camera as much as I should, partly because it's not out all the time, especially not here. And also it's part of the year where it's just so rainy that I don't know. I just don't take it out as much because it's harder to get better photos in the dark. And I mean, I could be playing around with it for sure, but anyway, that's a whole other topic, isn't it? So I am just working and playing around with these squares. I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do it, and I was thinking it would be really cool to do like some kind of patchwork type of pattern to make it look more like maybe a quilt or something. So that's kind of where I'm going with this, but I'm not really sure exactly how I want the triangles to go. I decided that the pink paisley paper, that was that blue washed paper, I decided to cut those down because if you remember just a minute ago, I had them big. So this takes me a while to figure this out. Just because, and I'm sure many of you would know, if you're using multiple patterns, you don't want them all to be together, or you're not really sure how you want them to be, and you just kind of got to play around with what you think looks good on the paper. And so I definitely did that, and I really like that triangle. I like having 3 of them together. I think it looks kind of cool, and so that's what I'm going to start off. I'm kind of going towards that, and I'm not sure if I want to have a pattern that is similar to that somewhere else, but then I'm deciding, well, maybe I want them kind of closer, but I want some of the white to show. And so this is where that concept that I kind of started with and what I end up with goes from here. And I'm just kind of playing around with this and seeing how I think I like it, how close do I want everything. I end up having to cut more of the triangles because I didn't have enough, and I wanted to have enough of the paper covered, but without, I didn't want it to be perfect, one, because I kind of wanted it to look like a quilt or something, or like a blanket, you know, just like a scraps blanket. I don't know if any of you guys have any of those, but my husband's grandmother she did a lot of blankets, and a lot of them kind of have that, you know, she just took her scrapped fabric and just made blankets out of them, and they're really pretty, but they're not perfect. And I kind of wanted that to have this feel. I'm not really sure why. Maybe just because this Gather collection kind of lends itself to being something like that feel. And in all respects, I really did want to do something maybe a little bit different. And I think this is the fun part about scrapbooking and when you're finding your mojo, is to just kind of do something different. If something different comes in your brain, just do it. This happened with me the other day when I was making a layout for Spiegelmom Scraps. I'm on her design team, and I seen a sketch and I was like, man, that would be really cool if I did a shaker. And so I just went with it, and I made a shaker layout. And so I think sometimes just going with what your gut says, even though it might not be something that you typically do, because I usually do not use this much pattern paper
in this type of way. I usually like to have a lot of clean, open space, or just even a lot of space on my background. So even if I've used a pattern paper on the background, I won't fill everything up with lots of pattern. But this ended up being really cool looking, and I just play with it, and I'm curling up the edges. And as you can see, I'm working around to just kind of get different patterns different places so that none of them touch. And I do end up having some space of the white showing. There's a couple of spots where it's not even. It's because of the way, because I use those 3 big triangles or squares in the middle. Well, kind of off to the middle. I didn't put it smack dab in the middle because I wanted it to be more of like 2/3 of a page compared to a third, you know, like in the sections in a weird way. Even though it's not really following any of the rules, but that's okay. I'm not really a rule follower very often. So I'm just playing with it, and I really like how this turned out. It looks really, really cool. What would have looked really awesome is if I had a sewing machine and I sewed it. And I could have hand sewed it, but there was no way I was doing that at this moment. I was not wanting, because I had thought about doing it even on the edge, like on the edges of the layout, because I like to have something, especially like this where the patterns just go off. I like to have some kind of edge that kind of stops it. And I do end up using a black pen, and then I use a silver pen. No, I used white. I was going to use silver, and I decided. So here I realized that I'm definitely not going to have enough squares. And so I add some of that pink that I had up at the top anyway, in case I wanted to use it. And then I decided to flip over one of the squares that I had that had hearts on it, that orangey, peachy color. It's actually more peach in real life than orange. But I flipped it over because it has an amazing bold print. It's amazing print. I love that color. It's very much me. I drove my mom crazy with colors and patterns when I was growing up. So this is where I'm like, okay, where do I want to go with this? Because I wasn't sure if I wanted to have that open space on my paper in the same area as it was over on the other side. And I wasn't sure if I wanted my paper to go all the way off or leave the corners, but the other 2 corners have stuff going off. So I'm kind of really wanting something to go off of the paper here. And then this is also where I realized that I probably should do another row where that other peach paper is. And so I'm going to decide to, I was so irritated because I wanted to use that other part, but it just wasn't going to work with that. So I ended up using this piece. Thankfully, I had that. And I'm just putting that like that and kind of working to get something off. And like I said, I really love how this turned out. It would have looked awesome stitched or something. That would have really made it come to life even more and have another texture. And I could have added, I mean, obviously I haven't done anything to do layers or added anything on my layout, but I could have added some string or thread to the layout, like as in the layers, and that would have looked really cool too, but I didn't end up doing that, so, which is okay. It's fine not to go crazy. I definitely, because I had so much pattern on the background, I decided to kind of keep it pretty simple after this. It's just, to me, it called for that, so yeah. It definitely is busier than a lot of layouts that I've done, but I think that this is the fun part about looking through your album, and this is one of the things that I try to think about on a regular basis when I'm making layouts, is in some ways going through my old albums and seeing what kind of stuff I see on a regular basis and seeing if that's the stuff I want to continue seeing, or what kind of stuff when I'm looking through my final albums do I really like to see, because in the end, that's what our albums are there for us to enjoy. So when we are looking through the flow of our albums, is that flow, do we like the way that it's flowing, or do we think we need to add something else? Some people like everything to look a certain way, and some people want a different variety. And so you just kind of have to decide what you like for you. And I really do like to see a variety of stuff. I like to see different types of, different kinds of things. And so I find that in my albums, if I do a lot of mixed media and it's really crazy, I don't always like to look at those ones after, even though I really enjoy making them and I really like them. Just sometimes I think they become a little crazy in my album. So I kind of try to think of that stuff too, which I think is why maybe lately I've been scrapping a little less crazy, a less embellished as I used to, just because I found that I like that style in my albums a little bit less. But I think it's fun to have a variety, but it's all based on what you think. So now I'm working on the title. I really wanted to add some glitter and some gold because it needed it. It just needed it. So I'm gonna work on the title, and I know I haven't put anything down. And so this is okay. So this was the dilemma that I was going through while I was putting this down. I was thinking, I'm putting down this title. What if I want to add a lot of extra like embellishment, like layers behind my photo? Because I really didn't add that much. I just added that black and white dot that kind of reminded me of the chocolate chips, which is why I used it. And then I got thinking, hey, I could use little stickers to say who doesn't like. And I am going to use that sweet. I just haven't decided if I wanted to put it on the photo. I mean, it's a whole bunch of repeating cupcakes, which is nice. It's nice to have a photo that has repeating stuff. Your eye goes across. So it makes it easy to put something on photos like that because your eye is already, there's more than one. It's not like I needed to it was okay if I covered up part of that photo. But yeah, so I use those little ones, and then I realized I should really have this as a question and an apostrophe, because yeah. So the title will read, Who Doesn't Like Sweet Birthday Cupcakes? Now the job is to find some stuff to use to just like kind of embellish my layout. And like I said, this was the problem that I had when I was doing the title, is my brain was thinking, where else am I going to put embellishments? So I kind of was thinking maybe adding something really small to the one side of the photo, like a tab or something. Or I was thinking maybe I would add that little tag that says happiness found. And I'm looking through the Maggie Holmes ephemera pack from this collection, and I really like that little card that says from the heart. So I'm going to use that. And oh yeah, I forgot my stupid tape runner. It's getting near the end, and I've noticed that sometimes near the end it starts like bunching up. It's kind of a pain. And I want to staple this because it has staples on there. I was going to try to staple where it was, but there's just no way that I could, just with the angle of it, and it wasn't close enough to the edge. And so one thing I don't like about the tiny attachers or those little staplers is that sometimes it's kind of hard. There's that chipboard piece that has some gold on it, and then I'm going to pick that and I'm going to put that right underneath there. That gold piece, it looks really pretty. So, and at this point, I know that I don't really want to add too much more. I don't want it to be too busy, but I do want to have just a little bit of something, so you're not just seeing paper and a picture. Plus, I do want the whole premise behind doing this is to use the stuff that I love, not to go, oh, well, I'll just save this for another layout, right? Because that's what we do. And I'm writing or doing the date in those gold tile stickers. I decided that that would look really cool down there, and I'm going to use some of these hearts, and I'm just putting them down underneath that from the heart. And I did use that layered. I want to use some of those gold hearts from the Sweet Girl collection, or the Cute Girl collection. So I'm having a problem with that Happiness Found because I'm not really sure exactly where I think it fits. I like it over on the side, but I feel like I wanted to add something else, like maybe like a tab or something. So I'm just not really sure. I kind of would have liked it to point to my title, and I'm thinking at this point that I'm not really sure I care for the color of those little tiny black stickers. And but I haven't changed them yet. So here I'm looking for something else. I'm like, what else do I have? This is the Carpe Diem collection, So Posh, that is for the planners and stuff. And it has a lot of planner type things, but it has a few, like some tabs and just a few elements that you could use on layouts. And it had that cupcake, and that was perfect. It was the right color. And this tab is really cute. It has, the metallic is a different metallic. But I don't mind that. It's kind of like a silvery copper color. It's not quite silver. So I am going to move that little chipboard piece down just a little bit, and I'm fooling around trying to get it perfect, of course. But I like it like down there. It looks cute. It just gives you something to kind of bring everything down from the top to the bottom, and then just have something a little bit off to the corner. So it's kind of like an L shaped, or like a T, maybe closer to like a T, I guess. I pulled out those alpha stickers from Authentique. I bought them at the local scrapbooking store in my area. She has a ton of that kind of stuff, and the colors kind of work pretty well with what I'm doing. So I'm using these, and they're a little bigger so you can see them a little better. Like I said, I just wasn't feeling that other color. It's kind of like a gold color. I really liked that tab up at the top, but I just felt like it felt a little weird up there. So I put it there, and I like it, but it's not going to stay there. I end up pulling those letter stickers back up because I wanted to use that heart. It adds some of that peach color into the layout that I don't really have much of, except for on the cupcake. And I really like the way that that heart looks there. And using the word love instead of, I think I just wrote it out, but so I am going to use that, and I'm going to put these on pop dots. Now I did put my photo on some foam, just some dollar store foam, so it's not very, very high, but it just kind of gives it a little lift off of the pattern, which I think it really needs all the layers of the photo. So I end up sticking the Happiness Found like really crooked behind there, and I actually really like the way that it looks. I mean, it's not perfect. I think it would have looked really cool if it wasn't hanging off so much over the top, but that's okay. And so I'm just placing some more hearts around, and I'm putting those glittery hearts from the Cute Girl collection from Crepe Paper. And then I'm going to add some of these sequins, and these are Spiegel Mom Scrap sequins. These are from her new release that just came out this December, and these match with the Snow and Cocoa line, but they're really, really pretty. They're called Build a Snowman. I'll make sure I have a link in the video below for them because they're awesome. If you use my code, or Katty's code, or Christy's code, or Megan's code, you can get 15% off. But anyway, so I am almost done here. I'm just going to put these sequins in, and I just kind of floated them around. I tried to put some of them on top of each other just so they look like I just dropped them on the page, because that's kind of what I wanted it to look. And here is the end result. And I really, really absolutely love the way that it turned out. It is so much fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Don't forget to watch all of our videos and comment on all of our videos, and you will be entered each week into the drawing if you comment on all of our videos. And don't forget to check out Victoria's video today too. She is joining in with us, and we will see you guys later. Hopefully maybe next year we can do another one of these series. I've really enjoyed it. Have a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.